Join us now, the general manager of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he got his brand new draft. Pittsburgh coming up in 2 months. Bit of swag. Maybe he's got an extra one in the bag somewhere. Omar Khan. Omar, how are you?
Good to see you. It's exciting, man. Pittsburgh, the draft in Pittsburgh, man. How awesome
It's going to be crazy. And, you know, I love Pittsburgh. There's nothing like coming through the Fort Pitt Tunnel and seeing the Golden Triangle. And can you imagine what it's going to be like for anybody who comes through that tunnel on the day of the draft? There's just going to be people everywhere.
It's great. I can't wait. We've been talking about this for a long time. And, I mean, you know the area well. Like, you just can't wait for the rest of the world to see what Pittsburgh's all about.
Pittsburgh is the perfect size, not too big, definitely not small, but it's just got a great feel to it, a lot of great restaurants, a lot of great hotels, great sports teams, and I've lived in and around Pittsburgh my whole life, and I love Pittsburgh, so it's great that Pittsburgh's going to have a draft.
People are great.
Okay, so you got a Pittsburgh native as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and before we talk about Mike McCarthy, let me back up and talk about the other Mike. Because for those of us in this business, we kind of thought something might happen. There was just stuff. In the building, did you know that something was going on?
You know, we did not. I did not. You know, one thing, Mike, is, you know how this business is. There's been, every year you hear different stuff. And most of the time, none of the stuff comes to fruition. But no, I didn't know till that day. But I'll say this: I mean, it's been such an honor and a privilege to work with Mike Tomlin. He was a great partner.
Oh, incredible coach! Incredible coach, Hall of Famer, no question. Great impact from the get-go. Yep. He was a revelation when he went to Minnesota as defensive coordinator in 2006. Yeah. But like, were you floored? Were you like, you know, this kind of makes sense? Like, what was your reaction when you found out that day that he was going to step down?
Yeah, so he came in my office and we talked, and you know, I was certainly surprised. I couldn't believe, you know, you really don't prepare for those moments. I don't think. I mean, we talked about it. You know, he told me he had made up his mind. That was his decision, and you know, I was surprised. You know, it's you know, we've been together for 19 years, and just, you know, it hits you in that moment, like, wow, this is over.
Were you in the room when he told the players?
I was. Yep. Give
me an idea what that was like.
Oh man, I don't even know what words to use to describe it. It was just, you know, it was. I think overall, I think people were shocked and surprised. You know, it was silent, and you know, he said what he said to us, and we'll keep that to ourselves. But you know, he got a standing ovation at the end, and a lot of hugs, and just, I think there was some disbelief.
What's the biggest adjustment with Mike gone?
Oh, biggest adjustment. That's a good question. You know, I don't know if there's really big adjustment. You know, obviously different person, and you know, I'd been with Mike Tomlin for 19 years, so you know, we knew how we think. You know, I know how he thinks. He knew how I thought, and so that's probably the biggest adjustment. You know, and Mike McCarthy and I, we've known each other for 25, 26 years, whatever it is. So we know each other, but, you know, we've never worked in that setting for as long as Mike Tomlin and I had. So it's just been new.
From your perspective, was that familiarity with Mike McCarthy, does that help?
Oh, yeah.
Just from the standpoint of making him an attractive candidate, like, here's a guy I've already got a baseline of a relationship with, and we can just continue it. Was that a plus factor for him when you were making a decision?
Well, I would just say that you know, I knew him as a person, so I knew about his character. I've known him for a long time. I knew how detailed he was just from the year that I was in New Orleans with him, and you know, and him and I have communicated through the years. But yeah, I mean, I can't say enough good things about him as a person, and truly how much he loves Pittsburgh too. It's pretty cool to see.
When the word first broke that you guys were hiring Mike McCarthy, the reaction was not good from fans, and there was an item on Steelers.com acknowledging that the reaction was not good. Were you surprised? Did you sense that folks weren't real thrilled about this move at first?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I really wasn't following too much of that going through the process. We were so focused on making sure we made the right decision, and we feel that we did. And so my focus is really on making sure we made the right decision.
And did you notice after his introductory press conference, when he was very emotional about his ties to Pittsburgh, that it seems to be okay? People seem to be behind this now.
Yeah, I mean, when after, so this was a long, it felt like a long process, and I really didn't do much other than work on this for a few weeks. So once I started venturing back out into Pittsburgh, the response has been great, you know, and that passion for Pittsburgh is real.
It's good you didn't venture out Saturday and Sunday, because by the time he was introduced, I'm telling you, all the people that I had heard from, why the hell are we doing this? Well, don't ask me, but I don't know. And after that, it's like, hey, this is great. This is the guy. This is the guy. And there's that connection. You rarely see that. Yeah. There's so much movement. Guys so rarely play for the team they grew up rooting for. It adds a great story, and he's an accomplished coach, Super Bowl winner, as the Steelers found out in Super Bowl 45. So I think it's a good story, and now we see how that story gets written.
Yep. Feel good about it, though. Feel good.
Okay, so you need a quarterback. And I assume you've already been asked about it over here.
A few times. Yeah,
so,
a few times.
When do you expect to know who your quarterback is going to be?
So, with respect to Aaron, I've communicated with Aaron. He knows how we feel about him. We've had some good conversations. I don't expect him. I don't expect this to go on like it did last year in terms of him making a decision. But he knows we're interested in having him back if he still wants to play. But we also have a young guy in Will Howard that we think very highly of. We drafted him last year, and we feel good about him then, and we feel good about him now. And the reality is, look, Mike, we're looking for that next franchise guy, right? The next guy is going to be our quarterback for 10 or 15 years, and we feel excited about the opportunity to work with Will and see where that goes.
So if Aaron comes back, is it 1 more year and 1 year only? Is it possibly 2 more years? Tom Brady played until 45. Aaron's 42.
Yeah, you know what? You'd have to ask him, but I think last year when we went into this, I think we all expected this to be a 1-year thing. But the experience was good, and it was a good experience for. And I'm not gonna put words in his mouth, but I think it was for him too. But it was a really good experience for us. Like he was great to have around. He was a really solid leader. The players gravitated to him. Obviously, we didn't win as many games as we would have liked. But I learned a lot just being around him. And the one thing about Aaron too that people don't talk enough about, he is a tough football player, and his toughness resonates with everyone else in the organization. So
wanted to play in the game he broke his wrist in. Wanted to come back and play in the second half, and they wouldn't let him, right?
Yeah.
When you look at Will Howard, 6th-round pick in 2025, Mike McCarthy has never, I don't want to say he's never developed a guy, because Aaron Rodgers was a young quarterback when Mike McCarthy was in Green Bay. Mike arrived after Aaron was drafted. But what do you, like, is it just coincidence that Howard has things that McCarthy's looking for? How do you see those two matching up, I guess is my best way to articulate a bad question.
So I'm excited about Mike working with Will and seeing how he. Mike's got a history of developing guys. I was around Mike when in New Orleans when we traded for Aaron Brooks in New Orleans, and I saw.
Man, that's a long time ago.
But I saw the growth there. Jake Delhomme. The growth there with Jake under Mike. Obviously, he had Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, and I'm just excited. Mike liked, part of the process. We talked about the quarterback situation. Obviously, that was a big part of the conversation, and Will's name came up, and Mike had a lot of, he was excited to work with Will. He liked Mike. He liked Will coming out last year, and it just sort of worked out.
I guess my and I'm going to try to ask the question better than I did last time. I got lost in the weeds, and I eventually pulled myself out, but not very well. What does he like about Will Howard? What does he see that makes him think Will Howard can become the guy?
there's several qualities, but I think one of them is he's a national. He's a winner. He's a national. He won a national championship. He knows about his how he resonates in the locker room. Obviously, he's got the ability. I mean, he's done it. He's done it at the college level, and it's our job to help him do it at the NFL level.
Biggest organizational lesson learned from the DK Metcalf incident?
Ooh, that's a good, interesting question there. The biggest. Say that again. Ask
the biggest organizational lesson learned.
Man, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one. I gotta think about that one.
All right. Overall, it was such an unusual move for the Steelers to trade for DK Metcalf and give him a market-level contract. I've been following the team for 50-plus years. I can't think of a time that anyone who didn't previously play for the team got a market-level contract. How would you grade his first season with the team?
We didn't win a playoff game, so overall, it's really not necessarily just a reflection on him in that situation, but we weren't good enough. So we just have to be better all around, and we're in the business of winning playoff games and winning Super Bowls, and we haven't done that, and we didn't do it this year. But I can tell you, excited to have DK a part of this. He was great to have around. I think his teammates will tell you the same thing, and excited to see what he's going to do in this offense.
There were big moves last year to try to break that drought of years without a playoff win going back to 2016. What needs to happen this year? What is it that you believe, the one thing that you need to do to finally win a postseason game?
I think overall, all of us, we all have to step it up. We definitely think we have a lot of talent on the team, some good people in the organization. We just all have to be better.
Tyreek Hill, possibly a Steeler?
We like the group of, I'm not going to talk about any specific players right now. It's early.
He's free. He's available. He could sign with someone today.
We're evaluating everything.
Yeah.
So.
I'm looking for one more question before I let you go. Running backs.
Yep.
I'm planning to ask the different GMs I talk to. I'm trying to just understand this running back market. Because you have a small handful of guys, superstars, big contracts, and you get these other guys that are just trying to get whatever they can, and then you get the guys with the one-year deals just fighting for scraps. Like, help me understand the current dynamics of the running back market and why it feels like it's devalued for most, but not for some. How do you make sense of that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think everybody views it differently. I can tell you from our standpoint, we value the position. It's important. You know the Steeler history and how important the run game
Franco,
is.
Baby. Franco and Rocky Blyer, 1,000 yards each.
It's certainly important, and you see how the game is shifting. The importance of those running backs. It's there. So I don't necessarily think it's devalued. I think you're referring to, like, the money. Is that what you're referring to? Like, what those guys
the idea
make?
that, they're not. You get a small handful of guys making a ton of money, and then most of them are just getting whatever they can.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to look at every one of those cases a little differently, but I can tell you we value the position, and it's important. You can't have enough of them.
Will we know whether or not Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler by the time we come out of the Fort Pitt Tunnel and see all the people at the Golden Triangle for the draft? Will we know by then?
I sure hope so. I believe so, yes.
All right. Omar, thanks so much for some of your time. Congratulations on a great career so far in Pittsburgh.
Thanks.
And it's an exciting time and interesting to see where things go with Coach McCarthy.
Are you coming to Pittsburgh for the draft? Are you guys going to be there?
Well, I don't know about anyone else, but I'm only 100 miles away.
Yeah,
I can go wherever I want to go, so I'll be up there at some point.
It's going to be awesome.
All right, looking forward to it.
Yep.
Omar Khan, we'll be back with more from the Combine. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.